Good morning, Junior Church. Isn't it great that we can still get together even though we're in our own homes? So each week we're going to be reading a Bible story together, and then I'll explain what your craft activities are which you should find in your packs. So today we're going to be reading the Good Samaritan. Now this is a parable, and a parable is a story that has a lesson in it. So I want you to think about what this lesson is as I go through this with you. So be thinking about what it is, what can you learn from it, what can you do? Okay, let's read the story. This parable started when a man asked Jesus a question. Now the man asking Jesus a question was a very smart man, so maybe he was trying to catch Jesus out to find out whether he was a good teacher or not. And this is what he asked. "Teacher, what should I do so that I can go to heaven and live forever?" Jesus replied, "What is written in the Bible? What do you think?" The man answered, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and with all your strength, and love your neighbour as you love yourself." "That's right," Jesus said. "Do this and you will live forever in heaven." But the man wanted to know more. So he asked Jesus, "And who is my neighbour?" Jesus decided to answer this question with a parable to help everyone who was listening understand. Jesus said, "There was once a Jewish man walking along a road. He was coming from Jerusalem and he was heading to Jericho, which was a full day or two of walking. The road was rocky and there were small hills all around. The man was just humming to himself and enjoying the nice day when suddenly a group of men jumped out from behind a hill. They took all his belongings and tore off his clothes. They didn't want him to follow them, so they beat him up very badly and left him lying and bleeding on the side of the road. A few minutes later, a priest walking down the same path noticed the man lying at the side of the road. Do you know what he did? Do you think he would run over and help the man? Instead, he crossed the road and he walked on the other side and acted like he hadn't seen him. About an hour or so later, a man called a Levite was walking down the road. Levites were people who assisted priests with their work. He would probably help the man, but do you know what he did? He slowed down, walked a little closer to the man, but then kept walking without helping him at all. You might be thinking that maybe the man lying by the side of the road looked like he was resting or something, and that it was why the priest and the Levite didn't stop to help. But the trouble is, it was easy to tell he was badly hurt. The man was bleeding, most of his clothes had been ripped off, and he was bruised and hardly breathing. Just a few minutes later, another man came walking. He was a Samaritan. One thing you should know about Samaritans is that Jews didn't like them. Jews usually didn't treat Samaritans very well, so they never got along. The man who was dying on the road was a Jew. So what do you think the Samaritan did? Do you think he would walk by, maybe even laugh at the man? Well, he didn't. As soon as he saw the man, he went over to him and he felt compassion. He put bandages on his sores and he poured oil and wine, which were both very expensive at that time, onto the man's sores to prevent them from getting worse. Then he lifted the man onto his own donkey and he took him to a hotel to take care of him. The next day, the Samaritan took out enough money so the man could stay at the hotel until he was well enough to leave. He paid the man at the front desk and asked him to take care of him. If he wasn't better after about 2 months, the Samaritan would come back and pay the extra cost. After Jesus had finished telling this story, he asked, "Which of the 3 men do you think was a neighbour to that man?" The man who had asked him the question at the beginning of this parable replied, "The one who had compassion and helped him." Now, of course, he was right. So our neighbour isn't just the person who lives next door. It's not the person that we always get along with. And at this time, we've got lots of people who are in need in lots of different ways. We might have old people who can't leave the house, who need shopping and they can't go and get it. We might have people who are poorly, who need to stay in the house and somebody needs to help get things for them. So just think this week and talk to your mums and dads about what you could do to help. It's very important at the moment that we do the social distancing that we've been advised to do, and your mum and dad will talk to you about that as well. So you need to think of ways that you might be able to help somebody without putting anybody else and yourselves at risk. So have a think about that. Now in your packs, you've got some sheets. The one I really want to talk to you about this week is this one. And it's the house that says, "Who is my neighbour?" In these windows, if you're one of our younger children, I want you to draw a picture of who you think your neighbour is. It's not the person living next door. And it's not just one of your friends, it's somebody who is in need. If you're one of our older children, I want you to write a list of people in these windows that you think are your neighbour, people who need some help and somebody that you could help at this time. You can colour it in, you can decorate it, and when you've done that, ask mum or dad to send a picture to me on WhatsApp, or they can post a picture in our Facebook group. Thank you for listening to our story today, and please keep thinking about what we can do to help. Don't be like the people who walked past this man who needed someone to stop. Please do what you can to help somebody else. Right, that's bye for now, and I will see you next week with another video.